I should have known something was wrong when my mother-in-law's smile didn't quite reach her eyes. That's the moment that keeps replaying in my head. The exact second everything changed. My name is Anne, and this is the story of how I discovered my in-laws were trying to steal my baby before it was even born. "We're pregnant," I announced at our weekly family dinner, squeezing my husband Cody's hand under the table. After 3 years of trying and 2 devastating miscarriages, the words felt surreal leaving my lips. The reaction was immediate. Caitlin, my sister-in-law, squealed and jumped up to hug me. Madeline, my mother-in-law, clapped her hands together and made all the right noises, but something felt off. Like watching an actress who had rehearsed her lines too many times. "Oh, sweetheart," Madeline gushed, her voice honey-sweet. "How far along are you? Have you had all the tests? When's your first appointment?" 8 weeks, I said. "Everything looks good so far. We have our first major ultrasound next week." "I'll come with you," Madeline announced, not asked. "As a retired nurse, I know exactly what questions to ask." Cody beamed. "That's so thoughtful, Mom." I forced a smile, but my stomach churned. This wasn't the first time Madeline had inserted herself into our medical decisions, but pregnancy felt different, more intimate. After dinner, I excused myself to use the bathroom. On my way back, I heard the familiar click-clack of keys coming from Cody's home office. The door was ajar. Madeline sat at the desk, hunched over my laptop, the one I'd left open after showing Caitlin our wedding photos earlier. Her fingers moved rapidly across the keyboard, and she was so focused she didn't notice me standing there. "Madeline." She jumped, quickly minimizing whatever window she'd been looking at. "Oh, Anne, honey, you startled me. I was just checking the baby registry websites. Thought I'd get a head start." My laptop didn't have any baby registry pages open. I'd know. I hadn't created any yet. Using my personal laptop. "The family computer was being so slow," she said, standing up. "I hope you don't mind. We're family after all." I forced another smile. "Of course not." Later that night, after everyone left, I mentioned it to Cody. "Your mum was using my laptop earlier. Didn't that seem weird to you?" He looked up from his phone, frowning. "Come on, Anne. She's excited about being a grandmother. Don't be paranoid." "I'm not being paranoid. She minimized the window when I walked in. If she was just looking at baby registries, why hide it?" "Honey," he said, using that patronizing tone I'd grown to hate. "Your hormones are probably making you oversensitive. Mum would never do anything inappropriate." I waited until he fell asleep before checking my browser history. My hands shook as I scrolled through the searches. Down syndrome risk factors by age, abortion laws by trimester, paternity rights by state, grounds for maternal custody removal, prenatal genetic testing without consent. My blood ran cold. These weren't the searches of an excited grandmother-to-be. These were the searches of someone with an agenda. I opened my Notes app and created a new document, typing with trembling fingers. Step 1. Gather proof. Then I deleted my browser history, changed all my passwords, and lay awake until dawn, one hand protectively over my stomach. The baby was barely the size of a grape, but already someone was plotting against us. I thought about Bobby, Cody's older brother, who'd stopped coming to family dinners years ago. Nobody ever explained why. Now I wondered if he'd seen something, known something, that the rest of us had missed. My phone buzzed with a text from Madeline. "Made you an appointment with Dr. Roberts tomorrow, my old colleague from the hospital. He's the best for high-risk pregnancies. Don't worry, I'll come with you." I hadn't told her my pregnancy was high risk, because it wasn't. Another text from her followed. "Don't tell Cody. Don't want to worry him. Just us girls taking care of business." I screenshotted both messages before responding with a simple, "Thanks." Then I opened my secret document again and added, "Step 2, call Greta." If Madeline wanted to play games, she'd learn I wasn't the easy target she thought I was. I'm not just fighting for myself anymore. I'm fighting for my baby, and I'll do whatever it takes to protect us both. "You need to document everything," Greta said, pushing her coffee aside and pulling out her legal pad. My best friend since college wasn't just a friend anymore. Today she was my lawyer, and her usually warm eyes were sharp with concern. "I already started," I said, sliding my phone across the cafe table. Screenshots, dates, times. I installed a keystroke logger on the family computer yesterday. Smart girl. What about video surveillance? I nodded. Hidden camera in the home office. Cody never uses it anyway. It's become Madeline's command center when she visits. Which is how often now? Every day. I stirred my decaf absently. She brings lunch, rearranges my vitamins, checks my calendar. Yesterday she threw out my favourite cheese because she read online it might have listeria. The unopened, pasteurised cheese? Yep. When I got upset, Cody said I was being ungrateful for her help. Greta's pen scratched across her notepad. And the doctor's appointment she tried to make. I cancelled it, called my regular OB instead. But here's where it gets weird. Dr. Roberts' office said I already had an appointment scheduled. Someone using my name and birth date made it 3 weeks ago. Jesus, Greta muttered. That's identity theft. I'm playing along for now, I said, pretending everything's fine. But yesterday, the cafe door chimed, and I froze mid-sentence. Madeline walked in, wearing her signature pearls and concerned smile. Anne, what a coincidence. She pulled up a chair without asking. I was just thinking about you. Are you sure you should be having coffee in your condition? It's decaf, I said, forcing a smile. Oh, but even decaf has trace amounts of caffeine. And who's this? She turned to Greta with practiced charm. Just an old college friend, I said quickly. Greta had already slipped her legal pad into her bag. How lovely. Anne needs all the support she can get right now. She's been so emotional lately. Madeline patted my hand. I brought you some pregnancy-safe tea. And those crackers you like, the plain ones, not those spicy ones that gave you heartburn last week. I hadn't had heartburn last week. Thanks, Madeline. That's thoughtful. Oh, speaking of thoughtful, I made you some lunch, just a simple chicken salad. She pulled out a container. My stomach clenched. Chicken salad with mayo? Don't worry, I used the pasteurised kind. I know how careful we need to be. I took the container, knowing I wouldn't eat it. Last month, I'd specifically told her about my new aversion to mayo. She'd been there when the smell made me sick. After Madeline left, Greta leaned forward. She's testing you. I know. I pulled out my phone and added the lunch incident to my notes. Last week, she accidentally used peanut oil in the stir-fry. I'm allergic to peanuts. She knows this. When I got sick, she told Cody I was being dramatic. Have you told him about any of this? I laughed bitterly. Last night I heard them in the kitchen. Want to hear? I played the recording from my phone. Madeline's voice. I'm worried about her, honey. These mood swings aren't normal. Cody. I know, Mum, but what can we do? Madeline. Well, if she gets worse, we might need plan B. Cody. Let's hope it doesn't come to that. Greta's face hardened. We need to move faster. Give me a week to draft some papers. That night, I made a show of eating dinner with Cody and Madeline. When the nausea hit, real this time, I didn't hide it. Oh, sweetheart, Madeline cooed as I retched in the bathroom. Maybe we should call Dr. Roberts. This seems severe. I'm fine, I managed, catching her reflection in the mirror. Was that disappointment in her eyes? Cody, she called out, I really think we should take her in. She's not keeping anything down. It's normal morning sickness, I said, but Cody was already reaching for his keys. Mum's right, Anne. Let's get you checked out. I let them take me to the ER, where I insisted on seeing my regular doctor. While waiting, I texted Greta. They're escalating. How soon can you have those papers ready? Her response came quickly. 3 days. Don't eat or drink anything they give you. And Anne, get a new phone, one they don't know about. As if on cue, Madeline appeared with a cup of tea. Ginger, she said, for the nausea. I pretended to sip it, then dumped it in the bathroom when she wasn't looking. That night, I added 2 items to my growing list. Step 7, buy burner phone. Step 8, install cameras in kitchen, because if there's one thing I've learned, it's that the most dangerous poison comes with a smile and a cup of tea. The manila envelope felt heavy in my hands. I'd found it buried in Cody's desk drawer while he was at work, underneath old tax returns and warranties. My hands trembled as I pulled out the contents. legal documents with terms like trust fund, guardianship, and mental fitness evaluation. My burner phone buzzed. Greta. Did you find anything? She asked. Oh, I found something all right. I started snapping photos of each page. They've been planning this for months. There's a trust fund set up for the baby, but look who controls it, Madeline. And only if I'm deemed... I swallowed hard. Mentally unfit. Keep photographing. I'm coming over. 20 minutes later, we spread the documents across my kitchen table. Greta's face grew darker with each page. These photos, she said, pulling out a stack of surveillance-style pictures. When were these taken? I looked closer. Me crying in my car outside the grocery store. Me sitting alone at a cafe, looking tired. Me skipping Madeline's Sunday dinner, captured through our front window. She's building a case, Greta said, making you look unstable. A knock at the door made us both jump. Through the peephole, I saw a face I hadn't seen in years. Bobby, Cody's older brother. Anne? He looked older, more worn than I remembered. Can we talk? I let him in, watching carefully as his eyes landed on the scattered documents. So it started, he said quietly. What started? He sat heavily at the table. The same thing that happened to Rachel. Your ex-wife? I'd never met her. She'd left before I came into the picture. Rachel was pregnant, he said, pulling out a thumb drive. Madeline, she did the same thing. Started with helping. Ended with Rachel in a psychiatric hold while Madeline petitioned for emergency custody. He laughed bitterly. Rachel lost the baby from the stress. We divorced. I tried to warn Cody, but he chose Madeline, I finished. They always choose Madeline. Bobby plugged in the thumb drive. These are old home videos. Watch them. You'll see the pattern. The first video showed a younger Madeline with a pregnant woman, Rachel. The interaction seemed normal until you noticed the subtle things. Madeline replacing Rachel's food without asking, making comments about her concerning behaviour, speaking for her at doctor's appointments. Rachel wasn't the first, Bobby said. There was another woman before her, Cody's high school girlfriend. She got pregnant senior year, suddenly had a mental breakdown and disappeared. The baby was put up for adoption. My hand went protectively to my stomach. Why are you telling me this now? Because last week, Madeline called me, wanted to reconnect, started talking about you, how worried she is. It's the same script, Anne, word for word. A key turned in the front door. Cody was home early. Bobby stood quickly. I was never here, but Anne. He handed me a business card. This is my lawyer. Use it. He slipped out the back just as Cody walked in. I'd already hidden the documents. Who were you talking to? Cody asked, frowning. Just Greta on speakerphone, I lied smoothly. Wedding planning stuff. Mum's worried about you, he said, sitting down. Says you've been secretive lately. Paranoid. I forced a smile. Just pregnancy brain. I'm fine. Maybe we should increase your therapy sessions. Mum found a great specialist. I don't need therapy, Cody. I kept my voice calm, even as rage bubbled inside me. I need my husband to listen to me instead of his mother. His face hardened. Don't start this again. Mom's trying to help. Like she helped Rachel? The colour drained from his face. Who told you about Rachel? Does it matter? What matters is your mother has a pattern, and you know it. Rachel was unstable, he said automatically, like reading from a script. Mum protected who, Cody? The baby? Or her control over this family? He stood up, hands shaking. I'm calling Mum. You're not thinking clearly. As he pulled out his phone, I heard them. Madeline's words from the video, echoing across years. She's not thinking clearly. We need to protect the baby. I watched my husband dial, knowing each number brought us closer to the inevitable confrontation. But this time would be different. This time I had proof. My burner phone buzzed in my pocket. A text from Greta. Papers ready. Time to move to phase 2. I typed back one word. Yes. Because if Madeline wanted to play the mental health card, she'd learn that sometimes the craziest thing you can do is stay sane while everyone around you loses their minds. You need to make it convincing, Greta said, pacing my living room. Give them exactly what they're looking for. I nodded, adjusting the hidden camera in my necklace. A complete mental breakdown coming right up. Larry, the private investigator Greta recommended, checked the video feed on his laptop. Audio's clear. Remember, we need them to say something incriminating. Right on cue, Madeline arrived with her signature casserole, the one she knew contained dairy, which I'd been strictly avoiding. "You have to eat, sweetheart," she cooed, serving me a large portion. "The baby needs nutrients." I took a bite, waited 10 minutes, then launched into my performance. I clutched my stomach, swaying dramatically. "Something's wrong. The food? Did you check the ingredients?" Madeline's concerned face didn't quite mask her satisfaction. "Oh dear. Are you having another episode?" "Episode?" I stumbled to the bathroom, making sure my necklace captured everything. "You knew I can't have dairy. You're trying to hurt the baby." Cody rushed in. "Anne, stop being hysterical. Mum would never—" "She's doing it on purpose," I screamed, just this side of believable. "She wants me to lose the baby like Rachel did." Madeline gasped perfectly. "Cody, she's becoming delusional, just like we talked about." "We need to call Dr. Roberts," Cody said, reaching for his phone. I slapped it away. "No, not him. He's part of it. He's your friend from high school. I saw the emails." They exchanged looks. Exactly what I wanted. Later, reviewing the footage with Larry, we watched their silent communication. "There," Larry pointed. "That nod between them when you mentioned Dr. Roberts." They didn't deny it. The next day, Larry followed Madeline to a clinic across town. His photos showed her entering with a manila envelope, then leaving an hour later. "She forged your signature," he said, showing me close-ups. "Authorized genetic testing without consent. The nurse at the front desk is an old colleague of hers." I forwarded everything to Greta, then prepared for phase 2. That evening, I left my regular phone's location tracking on and drove to the nearest emergency room. Right after I parked, I switched to my burner phone and called Cody. "I'm bleeding," I lied, letting panic seep into my voice. "I think something's wrong with the baby." "Where are you?" He sounded genuinely worried. "The ER. Please hurry." I waited in my car, watching through Larry's camera feed as Cody arrived, with Madeline. They rushed inside, while I stayed hidden, recording their conversation with the confused staff who had no record of me. "But she said she was here?" Cody insisted. "She's having another episode," Madeline said smoothly. "Dr. Roberts warned us about this. Paranoid delusions, attention-seeking behavior. Should we call the police?" "No, honey. We need to document this for the custody hearing. Remember the plan." I sent the footage to Greta immediately. 10 minutes later, Madeline called my regular phone. "Anne? Sweetheart, where are you? We're all so worried." I made my voice shaky. I don't know. I got confused. Maybe I imagined it." "Oh, honey." Her voice dripped with fake concern. "Stay where you are. We'll come get you." "No." I injected real panic now. "I mean, I'll drive home. I'm fine." When I arrived home, they were waiting. Madeline had already called Dr. Roberts. "Just a routine checkup," she said as he arrived, "to make sure you and the baby are okay." I let them lead me to the couch, noting how Madeline positioned herself between me and the door. "Anne," Dr. Roberts began, "your mother-in-law tells me you've been experiencing some concerning symptoms." "I'm fine," I said, watching his pen move across his prescription pad. "Just tired." "She's been having episodes," Madeline interrupted. "Paranoid accusations, erratic behavior. Today she imagined she was bleeding." I saw the word he wrote. "Psychosis?" My burner phone buzzed silently in my pocket. Larry's text. "Got everything. Nurse from clinic agreed to talk. Ready when you are." I looked at Madeline's triumphant face, at Cody's worried one, at Dr. Roberts writing prescriptions I'd never take. "Actually," I said quietly, "I have been feeling strange lately, like someone's watching me, tampering with my food, trying to control my pregnancy." They exchanged satisfied glances, not realizing they were giving me exactly what I needed, proof of their conspiracy, frame by frame. My hand touched my stomach, feeling my baby move. "Don't worry, little one," I whispered. "Mommy's got this under control." Because sometimes the best way to spring a trap is to play the prey, right until the moment you reveal yourself as the hunter. The doctor's office was quiet except for the gentle hum of the ultrasound machine. I'd insisted on seeing my regular OB today, not Dr. Roberts. Madeline sat beside me, gripping the armrests so tightly her knuckles were white. "Everything looks perfect," Dr. Wilson said, pointing to the screen. "Strong heartbeat, excellent growth, no abnormalities." I watched Madeline's face fall slightly. "Are you sure?" she pressed. "No markers for genetic conditions?" "None whatsoever." Dr. Wilson's tone was clipped. She turned to me. "Anne, could we speak privately?" "Anything you need to say, you can say in front of me," Madeline interrupted. "I am a retired nurse and—" "Mrs. Clayton," Dr. Wilson cut in. "I need to discuss private medical matters with my patient. Please wait outside." After Madeline left, Dr. Wilson's professional demeanour cracked. "Someone accessed your medical records last week, used your login credentials." "I know." I pulled out a folder of screenshots. "I also know about the unauthorized genetic screening orders." She studied the documents, face darkening. "This is serious. I've already reported the breach, but you should know. They tried to alter your psychiatric history. Let me guess. Tried to add a history of mental illness? Among other things." She hesitated. "Anne, are you safe at home?" "For now. I have help." I showed her Greta's card. "My lawyer's handling everything." "Good. Because this goes beyond your mother-in-law. Someone tried to access your prescription records, looking specifically for medications that could harm a pregnancy." My blood ran cold. "When?" "Yesterday, using Dr. Roberts' credentials." I texted Larry immediately. "Need surveillance on Roberts. They're escalating." Dr. Wilson wrote something on her prescription pad. "This is the number for domestic violence resources. What's happening to you? It's abuse, Anne. Medical abuse." When I left the exam room, Madeline was on the phone with Cody. "Completely normal. No issues at all." She sounded disappointed. "We might need to move faster with Plan B." I cleared my throat loudly. She jumped, quickly ending the call. "Ready to go, sweetheart? We should celebrate the good news." "Actually," I said, "I have something to show you first." I led her to the nurse's station, where my lawyer waited with a thick envelope. "Mrs. Clayton," Greta said professionally, "this is a cease and desist order regarding your unauthorized access of Anne's medical records." Madeline's mask slipped for just a second. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Anne, honey, who is this woman?" "She's my lawyer, and we have proof. Video footage, forged documents, witness statements from the clinic staff you bribed." "Bribed? I would never—" "Save it," Greta interrupted. "The nurse confessed everything. How much did you pay her to fake those test results?" Madeline's face hardened. "You ungrateful little—" She caught herself aware of the witnesses around us. "Cody will never believe this. You're just proving how unstable you are." "Oh, I have something for Cody too." I pulled out my phone, playing the recording from last week. Madeline and Cody discussing their Plan B if the baby was healthy. The colour drained from her face. "You recorded us? That's illegal." "Not in this state," Greta said smoothly. "Single-party consent." My phone buzzed. Larry again. "Found something big? Roberts' office. Come now." "We're done here," I told Madeline. "Stay away from my medical records, my doctors, and my baby." "You think this is over?" She laughed coldly. "Honey, you have no idea what you're dealing with. That baby belongs to this family, and families stick together. Right, Cody?" I turned to see my husband standing in the doorway, face ashen. How long had he been there? "Mum?" His voice shook. "What did you do?" "Only what was necessary," she snapped. "Like always. Remember Sarah, your high school girlfriend? She would have ruined everything with that baby. I fixed it then, and I'll fix this now." The silence that followed was deafening. Cody stared at his mother like he was seeing her for the first time. "Sarah's baby," he whispered. "You said she had an abortion." "She did. After I helped her see reason." I watched my husband's world shatter in real time, but before he could respond, Larry burst through the door. "Anne," he said urgently, "you need to see this. Now." As I followed him out, I heard Madeline's voice behind me. "Everything I did for this family. But families don't destroy each other." And what I was about to discover in Dr. Roberts' office would prove just how far Madeline's destruction reached, and how many lives she'd ruined in the name of family. Dr. Roberts' office was dark when Larry picked the lock. My hands shook as I filmed everything with my necklace camera. "Here," Larry whispered, pulling out a file from the bottom drawer. Patient records going back 20 years. All women who married into the Clayton family. I flipped through the pages, bile rising in my throat. Sarah's name jumped out first. Medical records showing she'd been prescribed antipsychotics she never needed. Then Rachel's file, documenting episodes that never happened. "Look at the signatures," Larry pointed. "Madeline forged most of these. Roberts just provided the letterhead." A third file made me freeze. "Catherine Mills? Who's that?" "Bobby's girlfriend before Rachel. Got pregnant in college." Larry pulled out his phone. "Found her yesterday. She's willing to talk." The office door creaked. We spun around to find Cody standing there, looking broken. "I remember Catherine," he said quietly. "Mom said she had a breakdown and moved away." "Your mother drove her away," I corrected. "Just like she did with Sarah. And Rachel. And now me. I never knew—" He picked up Sarah's file. My baby, was given up for adoption after Madeline had Sarah committed temporarily." I touched his arm. "There's more." Larry pulled up emails between Madeline and Cody's childhood friend, the geneticist. Their plans were explicit. If the baby was healthy, they'd find other ways to prove I was unfit. If there were any issues, they'd push for termination. "Jesus," Cody breathed. "Mom said she was protecting us, protecting the family name, by destroying women who didn't meet her standards." I opened my laptop, showing him the video footage. "Watch." The recordings played. Madeline admitting to the nurse about forging documents. Madeline and Dr. Roberts discussing ways to alter my medical history. Madeline on the phone, laughing about how I was never supposed to be the mother of the first grandchild. "She had someone else picked out," I said. "Remember Jessica, your co-worker? The one who mysteriously got transferred right after we started dating?" Cody sank into Roberts' chair. "All this time. There's one more thing." I pulled out my phone, dialing a number. "Someone wants to talk to you?" "Hello?" A young woman's voice filled the room. "Is this Cody?" His face went white. "Sarah?" "Yeah." She paused. "Your mum. She told me you agreed to the adoption, that you didn't want the baby." "No," he choked. "She said you... I never knew. Our daughter's name is Emma. She's 19 now." Cody broke down completely. I left him talking to Sarah and stepped into the hallway where Greta waited. "Everything's ready," she said. "The restraining order, the custody paperwork, the evidence for the medical board. We can file everything tomorrow." "Do it tonight," I said. "And freeze the accounts." "All of them?" "Every single one. Joint accounts, savings, everything Madeline might have access to." My phone buzzed with a text from Madeline. "You're making a big mistake. Family protects family." I showed it to Greta, who smiled grimly. Perfect timing. The police just picked up Dr. Roberts. He's singing like a bird about Madeline's involvement in medical fraud. I typed back, "Family doesn't destroy family. Check your email." I'd sent her everything. The videos, the files, Sarah's statement, Catherine's testimony, and finally the photo that would break her. Emma, Sarah's daughter, who had Cody's eyes and Madeline's nose. The response came quickly. "You'll regret this. I still have cards to play?" "No," I whispered, rubbing my stomach. "You don't?" Cody emerged from the office, eyes red but determined. "I just talked to Bobby. Catherine's willing to testify. So is Rachel." "Are you ready for what comes next?" I asked. "Once we file these papers, there's no going back." He took my hand. "I should have seen it sooner. Should have protected them. Protected you." Better late than never. My phone lit up with notifications. Our joint accounts were frozen. Somewhere across town, Madeline would be discovering the same thing. "Tomorrow," I said. "We're having dinner at our house. Everyone's coming. Bobby, Rachel, Catherine, even Sarah and Emma by video call. It's time to end this. Mum will never admit what she did." "She won't have to." I patted my necklace camera. "The evidence will speak for itself." As we left the office, I sent one final text to Madeline. "Dinner tomorrow, 7 p.m. Don't worry about bringing food. I'm taking care of everything. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't served cold. It's served in front of witnesses, with years of receipts and a side of justice. The dining room was set for 8, though one place setting would only face a laptop screen. My hands were steady as I adjusted the hidden cameras one last time. "They're here," Cody called from the window. Bobby's car pulled up first, followed by Catherine's. Rachel arrived moments later, looking nothing like the broken woman from the old videos. Madeline's Mercedes rolled in last. She stepped out wearing her armor, pearl necklace, perfect makeup, practiced smile. "What's this about, dear?" she asked as she entered, faltering slightly at the sight of Bobby. Her eyes narrowed when she spotted Rachel and Catherine. "Sit down, Mum," Cody said firmly. "We need to talk." "About what?" Her voice was steel wrapped in silk. "About how your wife has been spreading vicious lies." The doorbell rang again. Greta entered with 2 other lawyers, carrying folders. "Actually," I said, picking up a remote, "we're here to talk about truth." The TV flickered to life. Sarah and Emma's faces filled the screen, grandmother and granddaughter, though Madeline had never met Emma. "Hello, Mrs. Clayton," Emma said coldly. Madeline's mask cracked. "What is this?" "This," I pressed play on another video, "is your legacy." The footage began playing. Years of carefully orchestrated destruction. Madeline forging medical documents, Madeline threatening Sarah, Madeline discussing plans with Dr. Roberts for each woman who dared marry into her family. "Turn it off," she demanded. "No." Catherine's voice shook. "We're all going to watch, every single minute." The videos kept coming. Madeline admitting to having Sarah committed. Madeline discussing how to trigger Rachel's miscarriage through stress. Madeline planning my own downfall with Cody's childhood friend. "I did what I had to do," Madeline snapped. "These girls weren't right for this family. They weren't strong enough." "Strong enough for what?" Rachel interrupted. "To survive your abuse. To carry the Clayton name." Madeline stood, pointing at each woman. "You were weak, unstable. I protected this family from your inferior genetics." "By destroying lives?" Bobby's voice cracked. "By killing my baby?" "That wasn't a baby yet," Madeline hissed. "Just like Sarah's mistake wasn't a baby. I fix things. I always fix things." "I'm right here," Emma said from the screen. "I'm not a mistake. I'm your granddaughter." Madeline turned to Cody, reaching for his hand. "Honey, you understand, don't you? Everything I did was for you, for our family's future." Cody pulled away. "No, Mum. Everything you did was for control, and it ends tonight." Greta stepped forward, laying out documents. "Mrs. Clayton, you're facing multiple charges: medical fraud, identity theft, conspiracy to commit reproductive coercion. You can't prove anything." "Actually," I smiled, touching my necklace, "we just did. You've been recording yourself this whole time." The colour drained from her face as she lunged for me. "You manipulative little—" The slap echoed through the room. My cheek stung, but I didn't flinch. The cameras caught everything. "And that's assault on a pregnant woman," one of the lawyers noted, already dialing. "Cody!" Madeline screamed as police sirens wailed outside. Tell them I was protecting you." "Protecting me?" He stood, shaking. "You killed my child, drove away every woman I loved, tried to destroy my wife and current baby. That's not protection, Mum. That's abuse." The police entered as Madeline's composure finally shattered. She grabbed a water glass, hurling it at the TV screen. "That girl isn't your daughter," she shrieked as they handcuffed her. "I am the only family you need." "No, Mum," Cody said quietly. "You're the only family we need to escape from." After they took her away, we sat in stunned silence until Emma spoke. "So, does this mean I can meet my dad in person now?" Cody wiped his eyes, smiling. "I'd like that, if you want to." "And your baby," Emma added, looking at my stomach. "My little brother or sister?" "Sister," I said softly. "It's a girl." Madeline's perfect dining room dissolved into tears and hugs. Rachel and Catherine shared their stories with Sarah. Bobby held his brother as years of guilt poured out. Greta and her team quietly gathered evidence for the upcoming trials. My phone buzzed. A text from Larry. "Dr. Roberts took a plea deal. Madeline's going down hard." I looked around at this broken family, slowly beginning to heal. At Emma, who had Cody's smile. At my husband, finally free from his mother's web of control. Anne, Catherine touched my arm. Thank you for finishing what we couldn't. No, I said, taking her hand. Thank you for being brave enough to come forward. All of you. You gave me the strength to fight. Because sometimes the biggest act of love isn't protecting your family from the truth. It's protecting them with the truth, no matter how much it hurts. The courthouse steps were crowded with reporters as Madeleine was led out in handcuffs. Her perfect makeup couldn't hide the defeat in her eyes when she spotted us. Me holding my newborn daughter, Cody, with his arm around Emma, and a row of women she'd tried to destroy. Mrs. Clayton, a reporter called out, do you have any response to the verdict? She straightened her spine, trying to summon her old authority. My actions were justified. I was protecting my family's legacy. By attempting to terminate multiple pregnancies, another reporter pressed. By falsifying medical records. By trying to kill my granddaughter. Sarah's voice cut through the chaos. She stood beside Emma, their matching eyes fixed on Madeleine. The cameras swung toward them as Madeleine faltered. I did what was necessary. 15 years, I said clearly, making sure every microphone caught it. That's what the judge decided was necessary. My daughter stirred in my arms, and Madeleine's gaze locked onto her, the grandchild she'd never hold, never control, never corrupt. She has your eyes, Cody, Madeleine said softly. Please, don't let them take me away from another grandchild. You did that yourself, Mum. Cody's voice was firm. Every time you chose control over love, the police led her toward the waiting car. She twisted around for one last look at her fractured legacy. Emma, the granddaughter she'd tried to erase. Rachel and Catherine, the women she'd broken. Bobby, the son she'd alienated. And me, the daughter-in-law who'd finally exposed her truth. The story's gone viral, Greta said, showing me her phone. Women are coming forward across the country with similar experiences. Medical abuse, reproductive coercion, family manipulation. Good, Catherine nodded. Let them speak. Let them know they're not alone. Inside the courthouse, Dr. Roberts awaited his own sentencing. His plea deal had revealed decades of medical fraud, all orchestrated by Madeleine. His medical license was already revoked. Ready to go home? Cody asked, gently touching our daughter's cheek. Actually, Emma said, I was thinking we could all get lunch. I want to hear more about how you and Anne met. We found a quiet restaurant away from the media frenzy. As Emma and Cody caught up on lost years, Sarah pulled me aside. I never thought I'd see justice, she whispered. Never thought I'd see my daughter meet her father. Or see Madeleine face consequences. That too, she smiled. Your daughter? What did you name her? Hope. I watched her sleeping peacefully. Because that's what she gave all of us. My phone buzzed. A message from Larry. Found something in Madeleine's safety deposit box. Old diary. Details about other families, other women. Police want to interview you again. There's more, I told the group. More victims, more stories. Then we'll help them too, Rachel said firmly. All of us. Together. A support network, Catherine added, for women facing reproductive coercion and family abuse. I want to help, Emma said. I'm studying psychology in college. Maybe I could... You could do anything, Cody told his daughter, voice thick with pride. The restaurant door chimed as Bobby entered with his new girlfriend, the first woman he'd dated since Rachel, who hadn't faced Madeleine's screening process. The police found Mum's files, he announced. Detailed plans for every potential marriage, every possible grandchild. She had it all mapped out for decades. But she never planned for us fighting back, I said, adjusting Hope in my arms. Never planned for the truth. Or for family being stronger than her control, Cody added. My phone lit up again, this time with a notification from Reddit. The post I'd written about our story had gone viral, with thousands of comments and shares. People are listening, Greta said. Really listening. This could change how the legal system handles cases like ours. Hope began to fuss, and as I soothed her, I caught my reflection in the window. I looked different now, stronger, fiercer, more certain. The woman who'd once feared Madeleine's subtle manipulations now led an army of survivors. To Hope, Emma raised her glass. And the family we chose to be. To truth, Catherine added. To justice, Rachel said. To healing, Sarah whispered. To love, Cody finished, squeezing my hand. I looked at my daughter, knowing she would grow up surrounded by strength instead of manipulation, truth instead of lies, love instead of control. To all of us, I said. The family Madeline never wanted, but the one we all needed. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't in the punishment of those who hurt us, but in the healing we find together, in the family we build from the ashes of the one that tried to break us.